On the news tonight, Buhari reacts to Benue killings, calls for end to extreme violence. Bill to stop doctors' migration, anti-people, MDCAN. IGP redeploys Frankumba, 20 other AIGs to command formations. And foreign, Chad deports German ambassador for lack of respect. And on sport, New Zealand focus attention on Super Falcons after 1-1 draw with Iceland. Now, the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended and condemned the recent bout of killings in Benue State, in which tens of people were killed in Umogidi community of Entapa, Adoka in Otukpo local government area of the state, urging that all efforts to be made to end the extreme violence. According to a statement by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu, on Saturday, the president condemned the use of terrorism as a tool in intercommunal conflict, urging that the attackers be found and dealt with swiftly under the law. He conveyed his grief and sympathy to the families of those who lost their lives due to the attack and directed the secret services, police and military commanders to enhance surveillance on every front and to immediately review the security management in the affected areas. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those murdered. The entire nation stands united in the fight against the forces of terror and evil, the president said. To the next story, the Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria, MDCAN, has condemned the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act Amendment Bill 2022, which proposes that graduates in medical and dental field must work in Nigeria for 5 years before receiving a full license. MDCAN described the bill, which is sponsored by a member of the House of Representatives from Lagos State, Ganiu Johnson, as discriminatory and harsh, with some members calling it modern-day slavery. The proposed legislation aims to stem the mass exodus of medical professionals from Nigeria, and they can argue that the bill is ill-conceived and lacks the basic ingredient of good faith. They added that it is not in the interest of the people, exacerbating the brain drain problem the country is currently facing. The association further noted that coercion of fresh doctors to stay in the system will be a futile effort without addressing the retention of more senior doctors. The bill violates the Constitution of Nigeria, according to MDCAN, as it goes against the fundamental human rights of individuals. Section 34, bracket 1b of the Constitution states that no person shall be held in slavery or servitude, while Section 34, bracket 1c says that no one shall be required to perform forced or compulsory labor. The idea that Nigerian trained medical doctors receive heavily subsidized education is also a pure fallacy, the association stated, as every medical student pays tuition fees. Moving on to the next story. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered the posting and redeployment of 21 Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIGs, to various departments, commands, and formations. Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi made this known in a statement on Saturday. According to him, the posting is in line with the IGP's mandate and strategies to strengthen the operational structures of command, departments, and formations. The IGP charged all newly posted and redeployed officers to put their best foot forward in ensuring that the activities of the new commands, formations, and department align with the police reform mandate. He also thanked them to ensure compliance with all standard operating procedures in the discharge of their responsibilities. Going on to politics. Labour Party state chairpersons say they did not sack Julius Abure as chairman of the party, insisting that the Abure remains a recognized national chairman of the Labour Party LP. The state chairperson of the party in Abuja took back the party secretariat, which was alleged to have been taken over by thugs who seized and sealed the office on April 6th. The chairman of Edo State LP, Ogbaloy Kelly, said the National Working Committee, NWC, is a subordinate organ to the National Executive Committee, NEC, of the party. Therefore, when a faction of it comes to take laws into its hands, it becomes a total nullity. Those who are taking these actions are members of the party who have since been suspended, and at the time they took this action, their suspension had not been lifted. Therefore, we are saying here that the 36 state chairmen have come to retake their position. Mr. Kelly said that even the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) affirmed Mr. Abure as the chairman in their communique. Kashmir Ago, chairman Enugu State Labour Party, said that there was a need for party members to be guided by the rules and laws of the constitutional provisions and the laws of the land and the party. We go to Benue State. Gunmen on Friday night reportedly killed 34 people in an attack on internally displaced persons IDP camp at LGEA Primary School Mugbang in Inyev Council Ward of Guma, local government area of Benue State. A resident simply identified as Jonah told correspondents on the telephone that armed men attacked the community around 9 p.m. on Friday. Similarly, the security advisor of Guma Local Government Council, Christopher Waku, told correspondents that 34 people were killed while over 40 others were injured. Waku, who during the conversation with correspondents said he was at the scene of the incident, disclosed that the people killed were displaced from their various ancestral homes and were taking refuge at a classroom in LGA Mungang. We recovered 24 corpses inside the classroom, while the remaining 10 bodies were picked up along the road in the community. They were killed while running away. Moving on to Sokoto from Benue. There was tension in Gwadabawa community of Sokoto State following a conflict between the Fulani and Hausa people residing in the area. A local official, Aminu Gwadabawa, told the VOA Hausa in an interview monitored by correspondents on Saturday who visited the scene that people in the area were living in fear as the conflict even claimed the life of a soldier. They are afraid, according to a survivor, the Fulani attacked my relation with knives, but he has spiritual powers that would not allow sharp objects to pierce his skin. Similarly, a Fulani man who survived the violent communal clash narrated his audio. The VOA also reported that when the police in Sokoto were contacted, they said they were still waiting for details of the attack. Scores were reportedly killed during the conflict, while many sustained injuries. Attacks allegedly by Fulani bandits were not new in the area as of recent. Bandits reportedly raided communities in Rabba and other locations in the northwest states. Moving on to the foreign story. The Chadian government has expelled the German ambassador to the country, Jan Christian Gordon Krieg, because of his impolite attitude, the government said in a statement on Saturday today. The decision was motivated by the impolite attitude and a lack of respect for diplomatic customs by German ambassador, as prescribed by a Vienna Convention, a government spokesperson said. No further explanation was given, but according to local media reports, Ambassador Krieg's criticisms of the current transitional government might have been the reason for the move. Krieg, who has been serving as Germany's ambassador to Chad since 2021, was given 48 hours to leave the country. The oil-rich country of 17 million in the Sahel region has been ruled by a transitional military government headed by President Mohamed Idris Deby since April 2021. Deby took over after his father, long-time ruler Idris Deby, was killed in rebels looking to overthrow his government. Deby had promised to hold democratic elections within a year and a half, but they are repeatedly being postponed. Last autumn, opposition demonstrations were bloodily put down. Many diplomats in the country, which borders Libya, Niger, Nigeria, Cameroon, the Central African Republic, and Sudan, sharply criticized the violence. To end the world news is a sports story. New Zealand's women's team has turned their attention to the friendly match with the Super Falcons of Nigeria, which takes place on Tuesday, April 11th at the Madden Sport Complex. The co-hosts of the 2023 Women's World Cup played out a 1-1 draw with Iceland in the friendly match on Friday, yesterday, April 7th at the Madden Sport Complex. Dan Dagny scored the first goal for Iceland in the 27th minute, and Anna Wilkinson equalized for New Zealand 7 minutes later. After the game, the New Zealand Football Association declared that on their Twitter handle that the attention turns to the Super Falcons next. Falcons and focus shift to Nigeria Tuesday 11th April by 4 p.m. local Wednesday 12th April as the time located. The Super Falcons on the other end defeated IT 2-1 in a friendly on Friday, April 7 at the Emirates Sports Center. Esther Okoronko and Azizet Oshoala backed the goals for Nigeria. The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup will hold in New Zealand and Australia between July 20th and August 20th. That ends the world news this hour. Before we go, some major headlines. Buhari reacts to Benue killings, calls for end to extreme violence. Bill to stop doctors' migration, anti-people. MDCAN queries. IDP redeploys Frank Mba, 20 other AIGs to command formations. Finally, on sport, New Zealand focused attention on Super Falcons after 1-1 draw with Iceland. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.